And we are back, and after last night's action where we did in fact get an upset with Blackburn winning at Leicester, and Brendan Rodgers admitting that it's very worrying times at Leicester where their best possible team couldn't beat a championship side at home. We now move on to 4 more games tonight, but not only that, we have 2 more Premier League fixtures for you in this video as well. So make sure you stick around until the end to see my predictions for that. Let's just get straight into it because we have 6 games to cover, and we'll start with the earliest kickoff tonight, which is Southampton up against Grimsby Town. Grimsby on a hell of a good run in this FA Cup, but for me, tonight is where the run comes to an end. It's a bit of a bizarre situation for them. They're like mid-table in League 2, but getting some fantastic results in this competition up against bottom of the Premier League, Southampton. So it's not cut and throat just to say that Southampton win this game because they're a Premier League team. I think it's an opportunity for the management at Southampton to try and make some changes, try and find some form going into the latter stages of the Premier League. And I don't think Southampton need this sort of distraction, but I still think they'll have too much for Grimsby in the end. I'm going to go for 2-0. I don't think it's going to be so easy for them. I think Grimsby really want this. Like I say, they're not really in too much threat in League 2 at the moment, so it's an opportunity for them to just get a free hit at a Premier League team. But for me, Southampton still take this one. On to the next one, and we have high-flying Burnley up against Fleetwood Town, and I think Vincent Kompany is very much up for this. They're so far clear at the top of the championship right now that I think they could easily play their first team in this game and not have it affect their momentum at all. I think he probably will make a few changes, but again, the way that Burnley have been playing in the championship under Vincent Kompany, I don't really think it matters what sort of team they put out. I think it's too much for Fleetwood Town, so I'm going to go for 3-0 to Burnley in this one. On to the only game that I really care about tonight, with the slight exception of one of the Premier League games. We have Manchester United up against West Ham. Both teams off the back of fantastic wins. United obviously winning the Carabao Cup final on Sunday, but West Ham getting an incredible 4-0 win in the Premier League on Saturday. So both sides go into this game with a bit of momentum on their side. I think both teams are going to make changes for this one. Massive games for both clubs coming up in the coming weeks. So I think both sides will make changes, and that does affect my predictions slightly. I think with my club United's defensive changes, I can see us conceding, but I still think we'll have far too much for West Ham going the other way. So I'm going to go for 3-1 to Manchester United. I'll be honest, it wouldn't surprise me to see West Ham get something out of this game today, maybe forcing it into extra time or whatever, because I really think we'll make that many changes to the team ahead of the trip to Liverpool at the weekend. But overall, it is an expectation on my part for us to beat West Ham, and that is why I am going for 3-1. And finally, in the FA Cup, we have Sheffield United against Tottenham, and I think this is a really, really tight one to call. Sheffield United currently sit second in the Championship. They were sort of running away with Burnley up until a few weeks ago, but they've sort of dropped off a smidge in the last few weeks, but they've won their last couple of games. And Tottenham have been playing relatively well recently, picking up some good results, but I think this is an opportunity again for them to make changes. I think Sheffield United could potentially capitalise on those changes if the managing staff don't get it right. It appears that Conte will not be available for this one, but he should be available for the weekend. So it's still going to be the assistant in charge for this one. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And yeah, I'm going to put this as the upset for tonight. I'm going to go 2-1 to Sheffield United. Now, again, obviously Tottenham could quite easily win this game. They're a very good side. And as good as Sheffield United have been, on paper, a decent Spurs team should beat them. But I've just got a feeling on Sheffield United tonight. I know I had a feeling on Leeds last night and that didn't pan out. But I have a little feeling on Sheffield United tonight. And I'm going to go for 2-1 to them, which will see Spurs eliminated from the FA Cup. Now, on to the 2 Premier League games tonight. And we start with what is probably the bigger one of the 2. It is Arsenal up against Everton. Arsenal, of course, still leaders of the Premier League. Everton still fighting for their lives. And with it only being 3 and a bit weeks since Sean Dyche's first game in charge of Everton ended up with an Everton 1-0 win against Arsenal, it's a big chance for Arsenal to put that right. But also, they're going to be very fearful of the fact that it could happen again. And I think it could. The only thing that is standing in the way of that is the fact that Everton did just lose 2-0 at home, and I really didn't think that would happen. I thought they would be solid enough to get the result against Aston Villa, as you would have seen in my previous Premier League prediction video. So with that result in mind, I can only now really see this being an Arsenal win. I'm going to go for 2-0. If Everton play the way they did against Liverpool and against Aston Villa, this could easily be more than 2-0. But I think there'll be some sort of little bit of extra desire to put right what happened in the last couple of games. But in the end, I think Arsenal will take this one relatively easily. And finally, it is Liverpool up against Wolves. And look, I don't really know what to say about Liverpool right now. Every time they seem to build up a little bit of momentum, it all seems to fall apart. And they've come off the back of the 5-2 defeat at home to Real with a 0-0 draw away at Crystal Palace. Wolves got a fantastic 1-1 draw away at informed Fulham last time out. And if they play like they did against Fulham and Liverpool play like they did against Crystal Palace, I don't see Liverpool winning this game. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And am I partially saying that just because it'll annoy Liverpool fans? Absolutely. Is this going to inevitably end up with Liverpool beating Manchester United at Anfield on Sunday? Probably. But right now, this is just how I feel. I just don't think Liverpool have got the mindset right at the moment. And I think Wolves can capitalise on it today by getting at least a draw. But we'll see. Obviously, if Liverpool play to their maximum potential, they should easily beat Wolves. But they have not hit maximum potential for a very long while. And obviously, I'm slightly hoping that Wolves do get a result today just to dampen them even more ahead of the game against United at the weekend. But I'm going to go for 1-1 tonight, and we'll see what happens. And as always, let me know in the comments your thoughts on my predictions. Your predictions, of course, for tonight's games as well. And your thoughts on that big shock last night with Blackburn beating Leicester. Is Brendan Rodgers' job on the line? Let me know your thoughts on that as well. And don't forget to like the video if you have enjoyed it. Share it with a friend. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I will see you tonight for my reaction to the Manchester United game. Thank you very much for watching.